Hello, everyone. I'm back. It is a gorgeous day here in Palm Springs. I think we're in week 9 or 10 of our shelter in place. It's been a couple of weeks since I did my last video. Thank you all for all of your comments, and also I want to thank, also we had some conversations around it. One of the questions I was getting a lot was, why did I do it? And I touched upon it in my last video. And basically, it was something that was in my head. It's been bugging me to do something like this and to do something for a while. It's been actually bugging me for a little over a year to do something like this. I used to have my own business a while ago around coaching, and I used to teach workshops and lead retreats and do all that type of stuff. And I've been kind of thinking of going back to it in some way or some form. And also during that time I used to do videos. So I don't know, I just was thinking, just experimenting and putting things out there and just trying things out, basically. And also, a couple of months ago, I did this posting about when I turned 60, I had this thing about no regrets, having no regrets, and trying to live my life with no regrets. And whenever I have something in my head that keeps on coming back to me and coming back to me and just doesn't go away, I take it as an indication that, I need to do something about it. Otherwise, it's going to keep on coming back until I do something around it. And I don't want to have any regrets around this, because I started my 50s with a big old bag of regrets, and I was in a lot of drama around that, and a lot of the regrets was around my business that I had, and I lost my business, and I was, I wanted to be in a relationship, and I was single, and all this different stuff, and it just set the tone of that whole decade of what my decade would be like, because I believe what you put out there, you get back. And when I started my 50s as being a victim and being embarrassed about losing my business and what went around my business, and it ended up being that when my 50s were probably one of the most challenging decades that I had. There was a lot that went on, both personally, both with my work and a whole bunch of other things that sent me into this really deep, dark depression, and also sent me into into these intense anxiety attacks, and my mom used to suffer from these anxiety attacks, and hers were just like crazy, over the top intense anxiety, and mine was not as intense as hers, but they were pretty bad. And there were moments when I was there where I was thinking, I don't know how much longer I can do this, but luckily I was able to get myself out of it, and started seeing the number 60 coming up coming up, and I was just like, I am not going to start my 60s the way that I started my 50s. And so I started off by doing something really amazing and crazy and wonderful, and went on this big long trip, on down to South Africa. And that was pretty life-changing for me. And that's when I kind of had this awakening that I only have a very short time on this planet. I only probably have about another 30 years, 35 at the most on this planet, and do I really want to live the rest of my life on this planet with regrets? And also I'm seeing myself, I'm 61 now, and I see myself looking towards retirement, not doing the job that I'm going to be doing for very much longer, probably for a couple more years at the most. And what's next for me? And I want to live a life that is fun and full, and doing something that I'm really passionate about. And so, and I just remember when I had my own business and doing that business, that's the life I was living. It was a very passionate time of my life. It was a time where I was meeting some really amazing people, amazing teachers who were teaching me. I had this abundance of friends and community at that time. And it was challenging. I mean, there was things that I was challenging. There's always going to have that in your life, but it was also I was the healthiest I've ever been. I mean, I had this really hot body, and I was dating a lot, and it was fun, and I just want to get back to do that. I want to get back to doing that. And it's kind of interesting, right now what's going on, because I'm trying to get myself as back to that as I possibly can. But it's kind of interesting what's happening right now, because when I was going through that time of depression and anxiety, I isolated. I went totally inside. I very rarely ever left my home, only to go to work or to buy food or whatever, but I really left my home. Once in a while I would do these, get together with friends. If friends invited me to do something, I would always make up excuses that I couldn't do it, or I was busy or whatever. And where in actuality what I was doing is I was just sitting at home all by myself, just in this really, really, really dark space. And as a result of that, I think I've lost quite a few of the friends that I used to have. And luckily I still, I think some people saw that in me, saw what I was going through, and they stayed. And so once I moved to Palm Springs, it was a new start for me. I was out, I was meeting different people. I found a church that I really liked and started meeting people at the church, and then COVID hit. And here I am back again at that spot where I am being isolated, and I'm being home, and I'm staying home alone. And so I want to do what I need to do to put myself out there. I don't want to go back to being that guy back when I was depressed and anxious and just isolating and feeling sorry for myself and sitting home all alone. I don't want to do that anymore. So this is another version of me not doing that anymore. This is another version of me just putting myself out there to all of you. And we'll just see what goes on. I'm still doing different meetups with different friends, and would love to do more, and connect with more of you. I know there's friends I am in contact who I used to work with at Disney. It would be great to do a meetup with all my Disney friends, and great to meet. And I also have friends from Flagler College when I went to college in St. Augustine. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this. We'll see what happens with going forward. But all I know is if I put the energy out there, at least this is my spiritual belief. If I put the energy out there, something comes back, and we'll see. But in the meantime, I hope you all are staying safe and sound, and you're taking care of yourselves. And I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.